Hello and welcome back to Bits of an Artist's Life. I'm Sandy Hester, and if you missed last week's video and the big announcement, or if this is your first time here, we are moving to England. It's been something we've been working on for a couple years. We tell all about it in the last video if you want to hear what we're doing, how we're going to be bringing y'all along on this journey. But I'm going to just tell you, I am so excited to be at a place where I can finally pick up the camera and bring y'all along on this journey. It's been hard to keep it from y'all, and it just feels good. So I wanted to pick up the camera because big things have been going on this week, and I need to capture it because I will forget it because I have the smallest brain in the world and I cannot remember everything. So I thought, let's pick up the camera. Let me give you an update, even though my hair is, this is just going to be how it is. I'm not going to be able to worry about my hair. Not that I really ever worry about my hair, but I feel like when you're moving, you just kind of look in disarray all the time. Even more disarray than I normally do. Okay, so let me tell you this. So we have already sold our home. We actually sold it twice. So we first had it sold back in January, and then that fell through due to some unfortunate circumstances. And then we had to put it back on the market, and some other friends of ours bought it, which is amazing. And we have been looking for a house. We have actually been looking at houses in England since when we first started even thinking about doing this. And houses are very expensive over there, very, especially where we're moving. And they're smaller. We need to be able to do business and life, and we wanted a very specific area so we could be near a church because we're going to help start a church. Well, we have finally found a house. So I want to tell you a little bit about the house we found, that process, show you some footage from it, tell you kind of what that's going to be like for us. And if we have time, I may even insert some, y'all have been wanting a tour of our house for quite a while. So I may do that this video, I'm not sure. But the day that we signed the papers for our house, deal signed, I found a house online. So we've not been able to find many houses that we've even been interested in. We found one house that we were very, very interested in. We thought maybe it was the one. It was from the 1600s. It was in the location we wanted. It was bigger than we wanted. We've actually wanted to downsize. We don't even have a very big house, but we've wanted to downsize even more, but maybe have some more business workspace. I've needed a bigger studio. We need shipping and packing and storage space. We're bursting at the seams in this house in that way. So as we've been looking at houses, we've been thinking about that. So the day we signed here, I was looking at houses online, and I came across this house, and I was like, this is in the area that we want. It was one story, which you hardly ever find one stories over there, and that's all we've ever had is a one story. And I like the way you live when you're in a one story, especially if you're doing business. It just kind of feels more integrated. And if we were gonna have a smaller house, it felt like a one story would not feel so claustrophobic. So I'm looking at this house, and I keep thinking, this kind of looks familiar. And I'm like, yes, it was on the market last year. And I never even showed it to Grady or mentioned it to him because I'd get to the kitchen, and even though the kitchen made my heart pitter a little bit because it just had this grandma feel that I just loved, that I thought, ooh, I think I could make that kitchen so cute. But I every time thought, Grady's not gonna like this, so I never showed it to him. Even though maybe he saw it, but he never showed it to me either. So I was like, it's that house. And I thought, okay, at that point, we didn't know we were zeroing in on this location that we wanted. And so I ran into him, and he was on the phone, and I was like, I found the house. And he was like, great. I was like, I think it's our house. I think it just came on the market. So I'm trying to talk real quiet while he's having this. I think it was a business call. I can't remember business call or personal. And he was like, okay. I was like, speed it up. I was like, hurry up, let's go look. I was just so excited. I didn't really even want to look at it until he was with me, because we both love houses and looking at houses. So long story short, we were like, we think this is it. I'm trying to think. I wish I'd gotten my thoughts together a little better about how to tell you this. Let me just think for just a second. Okay, first maybe I should tell you this. In the early days of all of this process, I told Grady, I set some rules. I am not buying a house sight unseen. I'm not buying a fixer-upper. Grady would say, well, what if I just fly over and look at the house? Because it's just so expensive to go back and forth. And we also knew when we got to this time of the time frame, it was going to be crazy town for us, trying to do work and pack the house, save out a family, just international move stuff. Oof. And I was like, no, you're not, where are we with all the no's? No, I've got to be there to see it. I've been real worried about like mold because everything's like older and I have a lot of lung issues and health issues. And anyways, I'm like, I need to smell it. I need to be there. Because he's really good with certain things. Like he's just got an eagle eye for things, but then I look for other things. So I was like, we make a good team. We have to do it together. Well, I even remember kind of feeling like, I feel like you're going to eat those words, Sandy. So the day that we signed, we found this house and we were both like, this could be it. Then I think it may have been that day. It was that day or just a few days later. I think it was that day. Grady was like, I just put in an offer. Sight unseen. It's a fixer-upper. It's like 100 years old, which over there, that's kind of newish. I mean, we were looking at a 1600 house. It's built in a time where houses were built really good, so we did feel good about that, but I was just like, okay. So we did it. We put in an offer. It got accepted. And then this week, like as I'm filming this, Grady's in England without me, looking at the house, doing the inspection, all of that. It's been really exciting. It has been sad to like miss out because he got to meet people from our church and just see the house. He was there for inspection, just a lot of things, but he's been really good about keeping me like engaged with it. So I want to show you some of the footage from like where it was online, some footage and some pictures of it. The video footage they had for the real estate stuff was from his two sons that are selling it. Their parents lived there for like 65 years or something. So they grew up in the house. Their parents passed away, so they're selling the house. So the video footage is basically kind of still like when the parents may have died at this point, but it's still kind of like their stuff and old carpet, all that kind of stuff. And then the sons did some updating, which some of the updating we were really sad about. I was like, oh no, where's that cute yellow sink? And where's this? And there was this old sink in what was going to be the studio, and then that's gone. I'm like, that sink would have been perfect. And they put carpet in, which we want hardwood, and just some of the updating in the kitchen and stuff is not like our taste and what we'd want. But we're going to be updating the whole house. We're going to do it in waves because an international move is already so big and it's hard to pick out things when you're in another country and all that stuff. So this is what the studio looks like after they did some renovation, pulled out some closets, put new flooring down, freshened it up with paint, which is really nice. And it's a studio that'll be a little bit bigger than what I have now. Here's the other end of it. Look at the cute door. There's cute doors all throughout, like glass doorknobs, really wonderful character in the house. And then it also has like the picture rail in most all the rooms, I think, which will be nice in some ways and a little different in others. This is the view out the window. So nice and bright. That space is just a little bit bigger than what I have now, but it's basically like we're going to be doubling it because we have another room in the house that we're going to be using for like the packing, shipping, storage, Grady's office, that kind of thing. So that will be this room right here. I think that wall right there that used to have a fireplace will be a nice place to take photos of paintings and things also. And they'll be on separate ends of the house, which I think will be nice for us to be able to work. Then we also have a wonderful feature in the house that I'll tell you about now. Here's the other thing. The attic space is ginormous. Now, at first I'm going to have the studio. It's going to be in what would normally be the master bedroom in that house. It's bigger. We're going to take a smaller bedroom in the back that has a bathroom connected to it, which needs gutting. We're going to gut that probably right off the bat. We're going to redo the floors, probably do that bathroom, and then we're going to save the kitchen, we think, and do that later. I have some fun plans for that kitchen. It's going to be so cute. It's got an old fireplace in it. I mean, just character galore. Small, exactly like what I wanted. Well, almost exactly. I did want a kitchen that had like a farmhouse table in the middle. I love those kind of houses, but that's okay. Okay, back to the studio. So the attic is absolutely massive. And when our friends went over that live over there and looked at the house for us, there's these brick walls in there that are like the outside of the walls. And Jonathan, our friend, was like reaching as far as he could, and the wall was still like a couple feet taller than what he could reach. So we knew it was tall too, because that's like the shortest part, and it goes way, way up. And it has, Grady said, spectacular views. Like the views from my studio on the bottom level is like great, but he said it's really breathtaking. So that's going to be down the road that we're going to do that. But the fact that the house has that possible extension for us to build up is great. So that feels very exciting. The other thing we found out when the sons came over and told us about the house, and the inspector confirmed this too, though the house is old, it was built really well. The builder built it for himself and just built it super solid. Like the walls are Brico blocks, like our big foundational blocks. And he built the attic to be built out and just, yeah, a lot of things. Really built well. And then the parents of these two sons that lived there took really good care of it. So now who knows what we're going to find when we get in there and start ripping things out, but I'm excited about it. I do like to do interior stuff and design. It kind of drains me. It can feel overwhelming sometimes, but I think if we take it in little bits, it'll be really fun. And we just need to kind of get over there and get settled, get our footing and breathe a little bit, because doing all of this, trying to keep the business up and filming and editing, which is a full-time job. I mean, 90% of my time is editing and filming for the YouTube videos. And then if I have a class on top of that I'm working on, life just stops for us. Like I am working all day and night and weekends, and most people don't realize how much time that I put into the YouTube. So trying to keep this going while I'm packing and moving. And I know some of y'all are going to be like, take your time, take off. You just can't in YouTube world. I've not ever talked about that, I don't think, with y'all, but you just can't. There's been twice, maybe 3 times that I've taken a week off. And because of the algorithm, it just, it's always taken me a year to get back to the same, like, new followers and all of that, because all of that feeds into all the other things that we do in the business to be able to put food on the table. And now that we're doing this full time in England, like, I can't take that time off. It just doesn't work like that. I don't really want to get into all of that. And I know some of y'all are going to have some thoughts and suggestions, but we've been doing this for a long time. And Grady and I have been doing it together. And we know what we need to do to be able to keep the business afloat and to keep things going. And that's what I need to do, is to be able to keep videos out. Plus, I want to bring y'all along. It's just sometimes it is hard. And that's why a long time ago I went to every other week instead of every week, because I was just drowning. So anyways, that is for another video. I'm either going to do a tour of our house now or in the future. So I completely forgot to film our house before we got it ready to put it on the market, which guts me, because we took like half of the house out into the garage to declutter, get the closets all cleaned out, get a ton of furniture out. We just made it very show worthy. And it's not the kind of cocoon-like the way I had the house decorated. So that kind of makes me sad. You'll get to see it. It's just not in its full, beautiful way that it was before we got it ready to put on the market, which kind of makes me sad, like I already said, but figured it would be better than nothing and that y'all would still enjoy it. So I thought I would show you this video and some of the pictures that like the real estate people did for us. I also took some video, but I think I'm just going to keep it to this kind of format because these photos and videos turned out so good. Then what I'd like to do is tell you a little more about some of my thoughts for the new house, especially the kitchen. And then obviously I'll be bringing y'all along once we get there and we start doing reno work. Y'all will be there right beside me every stage of the whole reno, which I think will be super fun. We're planning on kind of doing it over, a year or two, or who knows? We don't really know what we're doing. We do know some of the very first things that need to be done, but that will be part of what we do together in the future, which I'm so excited about. I think I partly wanted to keep this part a little short where I was showing our house because at this point where I am in the moving process, it's kind of making me sad. We're completely excited about the move, the new house, all of that. But we did build our house. Like I designed the whole thing, designed the cabinetry. It was just very me. We used old hardware all through the house. I picked out all these old doors. We built it to look like a 100-year-old farmhouse. So we have floors from the 1800s. We just made it to look and feel old. I've got old lights that I had rewired, just a lot of personalized stuff. And so there is a bit of me that feels sad to be leaving. Though I'm so happy to be handing it over to dear friends who are excited about it. There's still just a part of it that's kind of sad for me. So I thought, well, let's just show you, but let's get it over quickly. Okay, so let me show you this kitchen and some thoughts that I had. Who knows when it actually comes time what I'll do, but these are my thoughts right now. Grady and I could not decide if we wanted to keep the cabinets. There was part of us that they're kind of like, they're so vintage, they're like so bad that they're good. There's part of me that I just can't decide. When Grady went, he was kind of like, I think it could be, we could probably live with them, but I think it's going to be a gut job. And I think I just want to see them in person because I designed a whole kitchen around these cabinets thinking like, what do I do with these cabinets and how can I make them cute without painting them? Because I think there's some kind of laminate or something on them. So I'm not real sure about paint, but here's my design thoughts. I thought, let's keep these warm cabinets, which I'm used to having like bright kitchen, like white cabinets, but let's work with the warm cabinets. And then I had this vision of like green tile, this kind of London green. So I was thinking about like, let's do that whole window in the kitchen that's like over the sink, that whole wall, do that whole thing with the green tile. Under the cabinets, I may do white tile on that other wall just to keep things a little bright. Thinking about white countertops. And then I want to do some kind of black and white flooring. I had a few different pictures that I found that I really liked. You know, I've got that red brick fireplace in there, but I thought all of that, like the green tile, the black and white checks, and then let's throw in a pink fridge. Because the space for the fridge is basically like the tiniest fridge in the whole world. I mean, the next size down from this size fridge is like, you know, college dorm room fridge. I also liked this blue tile, but I'm very much a green. I really like green. I know not everybody likes green, but I do. But I was also considering instead of that green tile, this blue. But I think Grady and I both like the blue. But then if we end up gutting the whole kitchen, like getting rid of the cabinets, getting new cabinets, which I would do white, then I was kind of thinking, what about something like this? Like some real pop of fun color, maybe black and white flooring. I'm not sure if I do that much color. I'm not sure what I do for the floor. Those are my design thoughts for the kitchen, which feel very exciting. We'll see what happens in the future. And as I said, I'll bring y'all along with me. So we're doing this. It feels kind of crazy, and we are definitely in crazy town mode of life. I mean, crazy. In some ways it feels very overwhelming. In different times of the day, it feels overwhelming, like especially by dinner time when we're just like knackered and starving and we need somebody to fix us dinner. But then the next day we get up and we're just like, you know, doing it. We're just doing it. Yeah. Next week, I'm going to bring you along with some packing. And I've got some great tips that don't just have to do with packing, but have to do with storing your paintings properly. I'm going to a lot of work right now in the studio with paintings to get them shipped, but also a great tip for how you can store your own paintings for like long term and things like that. And who knows what else. I'm just going to be bringing y'all along as we do this massive life change journey. Yeah. And we're just in the mode right now of like crazy and, you know, being with our families for the last time, not for the last time ever, but like for the last time while we're living here and can get over to them quickly and saying bye to friends. And it's just a real mix of like bittersweet season right now. Exciting times, but also times of like grieving. And that is also just life, where those things are almost always entwined and mixed together. Okay, let's go do this. I'm actually going to go do some packing right now. I'll see you back here in 2 weeks.